Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing a little bit of a follow-up video. As you saw, I have posted 2 videos regarding pregnancy. One was finding out I was pregnant, and then 2 was telling my husband I'm pregnant. So this one is just a little bit of a follow-up video for people who are curious about pregnancy or just want to know what kind of symptoms you might experience. Everyone is so different, and so I know when I was not pregnant before, I would look up these types of videos just to kind of get an idea and see what women would go through. And so I just figured it would be a nice way to incorporate a video with all of the experiences, symptoms that I've been having in overall my first trimester. So if you guys are interested, make sure you guys stay tuned. Before we jump in, please give this video a like, subscribe if you haven't, and hit that notification bell so that you guys are aware of when I post any more videos in the future. And without further ado, let's go ahead and jump in. All right, you guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and just start naming off the things that I wrote down. None of these are in any particular order, and I just wrote them down as I remembered them, just because they were either very strange or, you know, something that I usually wouldn't do. If I do recall, I will go ahead and put down, like, if it was at 5 weeks or 6 weeks or whatever. And so I'll just go from there. A little bit of a background story. When I first found out I was pregnant, I did experience really bad cramps, which was what gave it away. And for me, these cramps were not like your period cramps. To me, it was like somebody was digging in with a knife into my uterus and like twisting it. I know it sounds terrible, but it literally was like what I was experiencing. And this happened like 3 days prior to the day that I would lose my period. So at first I was just like, okay, like my period is coming, like I was just expecting it to happen. And then by the second day they kind of got worse, and then by that third day, I know I was like sleeping and it woke me up. My husband usually is the last to come into bed because he just stays up a little bit later. So it was around midnight or like 1 a.m. when he came into bed, and coincidentally I was getting out of bed because I was running to the cabinet to go and get like some Tylenol or something to like help with those cramps, because at that time I just thought it was like horrible period cramps. And my husband looked at me and he was like, whoa, like you look like you're gonna throw up, like you look pale. And I was just like, yeah, I'm seriously dying. So it was just so sweet because he went and got me my heated blanket, made me some tea, and was just trying to help me get better. And then I don't know why, but as I was sitting in bed, I just happened to pull my phone out and I looked up the cramps, just because I was kind of concerned because it wasn't something that I had experienced before, and pregnancy came up, and I was just like, holy moly, like that has to be it. And I just had this like feeling in my gut that it was that. And so yeah, so I sat there for an hour waiting for my husband to go to sleep so I could go downstairs and take a test, because I didn't want to like freak him out or, you know, just have it be a thing, especially because it was so late at night. So yeah, fast forward, I ended up waiting for him to go to sleep. I woke up and then I went downstairs, and then that's the video that you initially saw of me finding out I was pregnant. So anyways, now jumping into all of my symptoms. None of these have been horrible. I haven't experienced any morning sickness, no migraines, nothing like that. Like, honest to God, this pregnancy has been just so blissful. It hasn't been terrible. I don't feel pregnant. Sometimes I have like a bloat for a bump, and sometimes I just wake up and still have like a flat stomach, and so I'm just kind of like, when is this happening? So I've been pretty blessed and lucky that I haven't had any like major symptoms, but the ones that have stuck out to me, I will go ahead and share with you guys. None of these are in any particular order, and if I did write down some where I remember if it was like at 5 weeks, 6 weeks, and all of that. So I will just go through all of those with you. And then just keep in mind that this is just my experience, my body. You might experience something completely different, and every pregnancy is not the same, so just keep that in mind. So anyways, for the first one is cravings. People ask me all the time, do you crave anything different? Is anything like sticking out to you that you are into more than other foods and things like that? And for me, it's fruits. I've been really enjoying fruits, specifically like mango and watermelon. I don't know why, but I can just sit down and eat a bowl of mango or watermelon with some tahini, and it's just the best thing in the world. Along with that is smoothies. spinach, and then strawberries, peaches, pineapple. Like that kind of tropical smoothie is just so delicious and satisfying to me. I literally can have between 2 or 3 a day. So yeah, that's pretty intense. The other thing has been cereal and milk. I don't know why I sometimes just wake up and I crave it, and it's not like sugary cereal. Like I literally like Honey Bunches of Oats or Cheerios. So milk, I've just really enjoyed drinking it, and before I got pregnant, I did enjoy milk. I always get the lactose free because I can't have any lactose, but it wasn't as often as it is now. And just a cold glass of milk, if it's with like cookies or in my cereal, it's just so satisfying to have. Okay, the next one is sour candy, and I don't know if you've heard of Rips. They're like these apple or like strawberry little like strips, and they're sour, and then after you like lick them off they're sweet. And I don't know what, oh, and the Sour Patch watermelons and Sour Patch Kids, like those kinds of like sweet and sour candies started up around like 7 or 8 weeks when I was craving them. And it wasn't like an everyday thing. It was just kind of like if I was craving something sweet, I just wanted it to be sour. And yeah, I thought that was really weird because naturally I'm not a person that like enjoys sweets. Like you will not catch me really eating brownies or cake or cookies or baking because I just am not a sugary person. But I have noticed from 7 to 8 weeks that was the thing for me. Okay, so aversions, and what that means, if you don't know, it's just things that I do not like to eat or make me feel sick, or just looking at them I'm like, ew, no, I would not touch that. It's been steak. I know I haven't like physically seen one, but I know like seeing it on TV, like in a hamburger or even just like in a plate and somebody cutting into it. Oh, just the most disgusting thing. I just don't know what it is, and I cannot, like I stay away from steak. But even before I was pregnant, I was never a big steak eater. I would always resort to fish or chicken and seafood. But for some reason, steak just while I'm pregnant is just a no-go. So yeah, so that is one that I definitely don't want to eat. Another thing that started up around 10 to 12 weeks was eggs. And I can have them scrambled, but something about sunny side up eggs is just like, ew, I cannot. And for a while there in the beginning of pregnancy, I was enjoying eggs. And then once I got to that 10 to 12 week mark, I was like grossed out by them. I can still have them, like I'll have egg salad or I'll have them scrambled, but I cannot have them be like sunny side up. And even if they're sunny side up in my normal life, I don't like a runny yolk, and I know when you're pregnant you're not supposed to eat a runny yolk, so I still cook it through. But just like the sound of it, the look of it, the smell of it, it was not it. Coffee. So this one is an interesting one because I drink coffee on the, well, before I got pregnant I would drink coffee on the daily, and I don't drink it for like the energy aspect of it or anything like that. For me, it's just more of like the taste and part of my routine and just having something yummy and delicious to sip on in the mornings. But since being pregnant, I don't crave it, you know, and I thought I would be getting like headaches from like the withdrawals of caffeine, because that would happen sometimes during my normal life before being pregnant. If I would, you know, not have coffee in the morning, then I would get a headache. And coincidentally, like I haven't had an issue with that. I sometimes have like a cup on the weekends. Like my husband has been obsessed with the French press and also the frother, and so he'll make me a cup, you know, on the weekends. But sometimes even after drinking it, like I find myself feeling queasy and just like, not like I want to throw up, but it just does not feel good or taste good. So coffee is just random. Sometimes I do crave it, like an iced coffee, so I'll have it then, but I will order like a decaf or something like that. Okay, so kind of going back into the beginning, as I mentioned, the cramping lasted from 5 to 6.5, 7 weeks. And that's just due to implantation. The baby is just burrowing itself into your uterus, and you know, it was kind of like uncomfortable, but it was bearable. I personally took Tylenol here and there sometimes because I just noticed that the cramps would be in the middle of the night, and sis has to sleep because she's got to get up early for work. So yeah, but then after like that 6.5, 7 week mark, they've gone away. Saliva, oh my gosh. Okay, so this was like a random one. Like I noticed that from 5 weeks to 8 weeks, I was having a lot of saliva in my mouth. Like I literally would be talking and sometimes would drool, and I didn't notice it until somebody like pointed it out. And I guess that's like a thing. I don't know like the science behind it, but that's what I experienced. Hunger, oh my gosh. Okay, so this one was wild. Like from the moment that I found out I was pregnant, which was for like that 5 week mark, up until literally right now, I am so hungry. I cannot explain the type of hunger it is. It's something that I've never experienced before, but it's just like I just want to eat something, and if I don't, it makes you hangry, and it's almost like constant. It's every 2 to 3 hours that like my body wants to eat, and I'm just like, dude, I just ate. So that one is really interesting. I've learned to snack on like healthy things like apple and peanut butter, or carrots, or you know, like pita chips with hummus and things like that, and then have like my regular meals, like my breakfast, my lunch, and my dinner. But in the initial time of it all happening, I was just so confused. I was like, why am I this hungry? It was just weird. Okay, another strange one has been body freckles. And naturally, I already have like freckles right in this area of my face. Like I've always had them, but I've never really had like body freckles. And what I've noticed, let me see when this started. Well, actually it doesn't even tell me, but I noticed from the time that I got pregnant up until now, there's like different parts on my body where I have freckles. And then also on my face, I noticed that there's a lot more freckles. And I usually only freckle up if I'm in the sun. And we live in Colorado, so there hasn't really been like intense sunlight. I have noticed that, and it's obviously due to pregnancy. This one's a common one, I'm sure. It's veins on my chest and like my boob area. They're not like crazy, like frickin' the Hulk type of veins, but they are a little bit more noticeable. And you know, that's just that, like just veiny chest. Okay, this one is one that you hear about all the time growing up, and just like from pregnant people, oh, my boobs hurt, or like, oh, when you're pregnant, your boobs hurt. But nobody explains to you exactly how your boobs hurt. So let me fill you in on that. So yes, your boobs do hurt. And for me though, it's been like the around part, and I'm sorry, I'm like touching myself, but it's been like the around part of the boob and the nipple, not the areola, like the nipple, just like the tip of the nipple is just so sensitive. Sometimes even just like wearing a sports bra can be kind of irritating, but not to where like you want to cry and die about it, but it's just like unlike anything I've experienced, even like, you know, when I would get my period, like it was just so different. So it's just like, for me, I wish somebody would have told me that it's just a different type of pain for your boobs, and they have gone up probably like a size. I don't think it's just like a lot, but they have gone up a size. Okay, so the next one is exhaustion and just like being tired. So initially around 7 to 8 weeks, I would start getting tired after like 2 p.m. would hit. I was like ready for a nap, and I still get tired now, but I remember from 7 to 8 weeks, it was like that exhaustion that I just wanted to sleep for like 2-3 hours to kind of get my body to feel back to normal. And obviously when you work a Monday through Friday job and you're at the office, you really can't do that. So I would catch myself just taking a quick like 10-20 minute nap during my breaks, or during lunch I would try and like get some shut-eye. And on the days that I would work from home, I would literally use my entire lunch hour to sleep because I was so tired. I was starting to get worried because I was like, oh my gosh, like I hope this isn't like a lasting symptom, because I don't know how I would be able to handle it. So luckily it only lasted from 7 to 8 weeks. And then after that, it's just been the normal. I get tired at like 2 p.m., but I can still function. I can still get my work done. I come home, I can still like hang out and do dinner, but I'm in bed by 8, like literally a grandma. Like I am ready to go to sleep by 8. I lay down and I'm watching a show, and no joke, by like 9 o'clock, I am lights out. I am sleeping, and I can sleep just fine. This next symptom is the frequency of urinating, meaning I pee a lot. From the beginning, which was like 5 or 6 weeks, it was so intense. I literally felt like I was peeing every 5 to 10 minutes. And when I went in for my first appointment, which was at like 9 weeks, I asked the doctor like, hey, like, is that normal? Like, do I have a UTI? Like, what's happening? Because I thought that only pregnant women who were further into their pregnancy experienced that because of the baby being bigger or whatever, I don't know. But no, she told me that it is pretty common because your uterus is expanding, and with that, you know, it's like there's pressure on your bladder, so it's normal to experience that early in pregnancy. And so that has been challenging because it has kind of slowed down from the beginning, but I still have to pee so much now. And the worst part is having to wake up in the middle of the night to go pee. And when I tell you go pee, at least for me, it's not like a long pee. It's literally like a small trickle and I'm done, but it feels like such urgency that I feel like I have to pee a whole river. So that's quite annoying. During the day, it's fine because I'm like walking around or I'm in the office or I'm at home. But at night when I'm trying to sleep and I'm in like the best coziest sleep and you have to wake up to go pee, I literally pee 4 times a night and it is just so obnoxious. But yeah, that's another symptom. This next one is sweating. So I've noticed that I run a lot warmer. We literally have a fan going in our room. We have the AC, not the AC, but like we turn down the temperature at night, and usually I'm like cold all the time. And recently I found myself that like once I wake up I have to do a body shower because I just feel like I've sweated all night and I feel icky. I find myself putting on deodorant like twice during the day just because I feel like I stink, and I don't know, it's just excess sweating. It's just strange. So yeah, that's also another weird one for me. Being out of breath. Okay, so we have some stairs that go upstairs and then we have another pair of stairs that go downstairs, and the trip to bring laundry down from our upstairs bedroom all the way downstairs is literally like I ran just 3 miles. I also find myself on the treadmill. I'm not able to run for more than like 5 minutes because I'm completely out of breath. And then also like even just now talking, I feel like I have to like catch my breath to be able to speak. And again, that was just kind of like the frequency of peeing. Like I thought that only would happen towards closer to the end of pregnancy when you actually have like a big bump and you know, you're just more tired. So yeah, so being out of breath is also another one. Some people ask me about my mood and how I feel. Personally, I've heard of women who get cranky, get moody, and they just, you know, lash out at their husbands, and that's how their husbands or themselves found out that they were pregnant, because of the fact that they were just irritable. For me, it's been quite opposite. I've been so needy, so lovey, just wanting to cuddle and just wanting to be loved on. And you know, it's just been like that. I have been emotional. It's kind of like not been as bad as in the beginning. But yeah, so like I just can get like, I can just get upset about stuff easily. But yeah, just being emotional, I guess. Bloating. So for me, bloating didn't start, it's been kind of on and off. It was like initially around the 6 to 7 week mark, and then from 10 to 12 weeks. And it's just random. Like I said in the beginning of the video, like I wake up and I'm fine, and then throughout the day as I eat or whatnot, like I get bloated, and then tomorrow might be different. So I think it's just because your body is changing, obviously. So bloating. This next one is super strange to me because it's being hairy. And what I mean about that is just that like I feel like my hair is growing so much more. I feel like my legs and like areas that I shave are just growing hair a lot quicker because I find myself shaving just more often. And I think it just has to do with like the prenatals I've been taking, but also like hormones and being pregnant and stuff. So that has been strange, but like cool, I guess, that hair is growing so quickly. And then headaches. So headaches started just last week because I am 13 weeks right now making this video, but headaches, I don't know, they have nothing to do with the coffee because like I said, I haven't really been drinking coffee since the beginning of this pregnancy. I just think it's just being dehydrated because I've noticed that if I drink water or chug my water, then it like starts to kind of go away. But that's just been like annoying. Like there had been a couple times during the week where I experienced that. Okay, so the final and last one that I have for recap of my first trimester is smells, and this started happening at 12 weeks. And it's not any particular smell, it's just I'm more sensitive to scents, and sometimes I'm super hungry and while I'm cooking I feel like whatever I'm cooking smells gross, so then I have to switch it up to something else and then that might not sound good. So it's just been a struggle because I am hungry, I'm not throwing up, but for some reason it just grosses me out. Last time we were making some like stir fry and the teriyaki sauce, soy sauce smell just like grossed me out. So I didn't end up eating that. So I made myself a salad and I put some balsamic vinegar as my dressing, and I ate it okay up until halfway, and then the balsamic just started throwing me off. So that's been frustrating because sometimes things sound good and then when I eat them they don't sound good anymore. So yeah, it's just been a battle, but that is my last one. So the first question was, were you guys trying? And just a little bit of a backstory, I've always been super terrified of like labor and delivery. Like I've known in my heart that I've always wanted children, and from a very young age, like I used to play with baby dolls, I used to play house, like it was just, it's been my dream. If anybody asks me like what my purpose is, I truly believe in my heart that is to be a mom. But with that comes huge fear of labor and delivery, and I don't know, just the thought of it freaks me out. I don't care about the body changes, pregnancy itself, any of that, like that doesn't freak me out. Labor and delivery does. So for the longest time, I think I've just kind of like been very careful, taken my birth control, and have been really good about not getting pregnant just because it totally freaks me out. But my husband and I obviously are married, and we have talked about wanting kids, and obviously I definitely want children. So for the longest time I have been praying and just asking God to give me strength and, you know, the ability to follow through with such commitment of bringing forth a baby. And I don't know what it was, but towards the end of last year and the beginning of this year, he had just been so persistent and present in my heart of like just the want to have a baby. And with COVID and everything happening and just people, you know, not being able to have like a second support system, meaning you can only have your husband or like your mom or whatever, and all of that, or just sometimes like some of these women just gave birth by themselves. It's just such a scary thing. So I figured to stick to my plan, which was to continue living out my 20s. And this year I turned 29. So I was like, okay, like I'll just enjoy this last year. We just had a hectic year last year planning a wedding during a pandemic. So I'll just chill out this year. And we both had said that we would possibly start trying like this year, but towards like the middle of the year. And yeah, God had different plans for us. We ended up getting pregnant on our first try, which was just, you know, amazing and such a blessing, and we feel so grateful for that. And at the same time I was just like, you know what, like if I push it off another year, that's just another year, and I don't know if COVID's gonna be gone by then. So personally, it just felt like this was the right time. I mean, I can't travel, you really can't go and do much anyway, so I was just like, you know, let's just get started. And we were very, very blessed and lucky to have it happen so soon for us, and we are so excited. And so yeah, we were trying and we did want this baby, and we, you know, cannot wait. We're also not gonna find out what the gender of this baby is up until I deliver the baby and find out at that point if it's a boy or a girl, which initially I wasn't all for it. It was more of my husband's idea, and I was like, no, there's no way I can't like plan out their nursery or buy their clothes and things like that. But at the end I ended up like really figuring it out, and I was just like, you know what, I'll just use that as like motivation to get me through labor and delivery. Like, oh my gosh, like if I'm going through it, which I'm sure I will, I'll just make sure to just keep that in mind, like, oh, we're this much closer to knowing if you're a boy or a little girl, and I'm just so excited. So question answered, yes, we were trying. Some people have asked, how is your husband doing and how has he been with the changes? My husband has been so amazing. Like, I'm not trying to brag or anything, but he has really surprised me. He's been super attentive, super loving, super caring. You know, will ask me how I'm doing, and I don't have to tell him to help me with things around the house. He's never been one, like a big child. I call these big childs because there's some men that you have to pick up after and like do things for. And even though I enjoy doing those things for my husband, I just love that he's still like a very independent person when it comes to those things. Like, he does pick up after himself. He does do his own laundry if he has to. Like, he'll help with dishes, like vacuuming, things like that. So that has really played a huge part in our relationship, especially right now during me being pregnant, because there's some days where I'm like energized bunny, and then there's other days where I'm just like, no, I have to like lay down, need to take a nap, you know, not up for anything. And I'm sure that could be challenging for, you know, your significant other, but he's very understanding, and we are just, you know, in this together. So I'm very glad that I have such a great support system and husband by my side. Another question I ask is, are you scared? And I think this question comes from the people that know me, because they know that, like I mentioned earlier, I am just terrified of the process of like labor and delivery. But I am, but I'm not. I feel like I've spent a lot of time in prayer with God and just asking him to just remove that fear from like my heart and from my mind, and to just help me focus on like the positive things. And like I said, we are not gonna find out what the baby is until he or she is here. So I feel like that has kept me, you know, very excited and happy, and I don't really think about it as much as I thought I would. And when I do, like I said, I just try to not make it take over my mind, and then I just try to find other resources, if it's like a YouTube video or podcast that, you know, kind of help you think about pregnancy a little bit more in a positive light than in such a negative aspect. So yes and no, but honestly, I'm leaning more to no, but I'm sure that will change once I'm more pregnant, because right now I feel like I'm not pregnant. I am still not really showing, and given that I haven't had like the worst symptoms or experiences with that, I just feel like I'm in a place where I'm just fine right now. And then the last question is, what are you most excited for? And I think I'm the most excited to just finally like have this baby. It's just insane, because sometimes you like tend to think about things in your life, if it's getting engaged or getting married, or, you know, a career and things like that. And while all of those are amazing things, for me, it's always been becoming a mom. And so I'm just very excited that's finally happening, and that I get to, you know, see what kind of little human I create and what he or she will look like, and just kind of all of that. Some people have also asked me if I'm gonna miss like my friends or my old life, and the answer is no. I feel like your friends grow with you, and through just growing up, I've learned that, you know, some friends stay and some friends go, and that's completely okay, because everybody kind of outgrows each other, and sometimes the people that stick around are, you know, your true friends. So I feel like if I do have friends that stick around, they're my true friends, and they're gonna be here for me for like this part of my journey. But if I also lose friends because they're not in the same boat that I am, I'm also not gonna be upset about it, because, you know, it's just life. And personally, I'm very excited for where I'm at. I'm ready to be a mom. I'm done with the partying. I've been done with like the partying and the drinking. I really don't enjoy drinking, so I really haven't missed that. And yeah, I feel like I'm just ready to submerge myself in motherhood and just enjoy a baby and like seeing them grow up and like doing those kinds of things. So that's more of my jam, and I feel like I'm where I'm supposed to be. So no, I don't miss it. But yeah, guys, this sums up today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed hearing about my symptoms and just like my first trimester recap, and I hope that anybody that was curious, you got some good information. I know sometimes the internet can be filled with a lot of like negativity surrounding pregnancy, so I hope this video brought some light, some peace, and you know, just some knowledge to you guys. And it was just fun creating this video. Stay tuned for more pregnancy videos. I'm not sure what they will be, and as this new chapter of my life grows, I'm sure that my content will also change a little bit. So I hope you guys tag along for the journey. And yeah, with that, I will go ahead and close out this video, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.